Om Srutismritipuranānaṁ Ālayam Karuṇālayam Namāmi Bhagavadpādam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Bādarayanam Sutrabhāśyakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine vyomni dakshinamurtaye namah. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sarvalokānāṃ Tejasvinavadītamastu ma vidvishāvahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. śrīhariṃ paramānandamupadeṣṭāramīśvaram vyāpakaṃ sarvalokānāṃ kāraṇaṃ tam namāmyaham. yathā mṛdi ghaṭo nāma kanake kuṇḍalābhidhā śuktau rajatakhyātirjīvaśabdastathā pare. The first of all is a googling. So, now I am stuck. I don't know how to proceed now. I thought without introduction we can start. Anyway, yathā mṛdi ghaṭo nāma. Ghataha, the pot, is a name. And every name, a noun, must have a substantive. Especially when the noun is indicating a substantive, an object. Now, ghataha, pot, is like the word chair. And I can make use of chair, I can make use of table, I can make use of pot. So it's an object. But this object is taken as a reality In our concept, it is real. Then what pot, if I ask, it is a clay pot. Clay is an adjective to pot. An adjective doesn't exist by itself. It has got to qualify a noun. It must have a locus. An adjective is not a substantive. A tall tree. Tallness doesn't exist except in a substantive. It's a big tree. It's a tall tree. It's an old tree. It's a young tree. It's a strong tree. All these adjectives are located in the tree. Tree is the substantive. Tree is the object. All other qualities have the locus in that object. Therefore, mṛdi, clay pot. The pot is the object. Clay is an adjective. Clay pot, copper pot, silver pot, plastic pot. In India you can see plastic pot. You can't see pots anywhere else. In India, even in the Vedanta. So this pot is only in India. You see, maybe in other countries, Southeast Asian countries, maybe here it was originally, we don't know. But this pot, in all villages, now they have replaced these pots, the copper pots and all that, with plastic pot. All useless plastic, the thrown away plastic paper bag and things like plastic bag. All these things are again recycled and make this pot. Very useful. And this pot is not a good one because they can't clean it completely. It's very... But there are plastic pots. So the plastic is an adjective to pot. Then you can't say plastic adjective, therefore bio non-degradable plastic, not pot, correct? Not pot. The bio non-degradable plastic, not pot. Poor pot. This pot, when you say mṛdi, clay pot. Now, there is an object called a pot, and the clay is an adjective to pot, sitting upon pot, having the locus in pot, and therefore clay pot means, so your clay pot can be without being clay. Pot can be without being clay. So remove the clay and then let us make it some other pot. It's not. Clay is not an adjective attribute. Because if you weigh the pot, the weight of pot is the weight of clay. Before the pot came into being, it was clay. And the clay did not lose its clayness when it became a pot. It retains its clayness. When the pot is destroyed, clay continues. Therefore, Adau clay, in the beginning clay, at the end clay, in the middle what? At the end it is clay. Before it was clay. And therefore in between whatever happened, it has been clay only. Because otherwise at the end it won't be clay. At the end of the pot it won't be clay unless in between it was clay, it has been clay. Clay was clay, is clay, will be. Then what are you talking about pot? The weight of clay, weight of pot is weight of clay. Whole thing is clay. You said something pot. What is that? What is that pot? This is very crowded here. Yeah. Okay. So what is pot? It's very funny. It's just a word. Pot. You can't say pot doesn't exist. Pot holds water. And a cracked pot won't hold water for a long time. You know, there is a crack. I have a pot here which is cracked. It's a crack pot. There are two. One there, one here. So we have two pots. Look at this one. So this is the crack here. Now two cracks I see. So, oh my God, it has gone down. I don't say it's a crack pot, it's a cracked pot. Cracked pot only you can use for a human being, nobody else you can use. And therefore, it is a cracked pot. That means, so there is such a thing called pot. It can hold water. If there is a hole, it won't hold water. It can hold water only that much, not more, because it has a size. And therefore, pot you cannot dismiss, it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, then it must exist. If it doesn't, if the pot cannot be said as it doesn't exist, the double negative. So you can't say it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, it must exist. It exists. It exists. Why it exists? Because you can't say it doesn't exist. It exists. You just now you said the weight of the pot is weight of clay. Therefore, you have a substantive minus weight. A pot, an object without weight. What is that object without weight? Please tell me. Where is that object? In the clay it is? I would like to know whether it is in the clay. In the clay I don't see a pot. I see clay. I see only clay. It is clay. It was clay, it is clay, it will be clay, it is clay even now. Swamiji, still pot is there. It is not false either. It is not a mistaken pot. It is a pot. The more you look at it, it is more clear it is pot only. And therefore there is no a false perception and there is no non-existence either. What exists? But it exists when you say, I should go for what is. And what is, I find it is clay. What is clay. The weight is clay, the touch is clay, the strength is clay. That it holds water also belongs to clay. But mere clay lump will not hold water. And clay in this particular form holds water. Therefore, what is pot? Pot is, you can't even say clay in a particular form. The particular form alone is pot. If that form is found in copper, it is pot. That form is found in silver, it is pot. In plastic, it is pot. Understand that? In brass, it is pot. Even in your belly, it is pot. And therefore, so this pot is only some form. It's a form. Amazing it is. Only just a form, which is the meaning for the word pot. And it is kept in your head. In the beginning there was word. Word was with you. Yes? There's a pot. Pot and its meaning are invariable, always. A word and its meaning are inseparable. No matter what language, even a dialect, word and its meaning inseparable. Shabda. The human being's language, it's not an ordinary thing. It is knowledge. So all your knowledge is word and its meaning. But that's not illusion. That is not delusion either. And there is jnanam, there is clarity. And every time you see a pot, whether small or big, this is a size, this also you call it pot. This one is also called a pot. Very big thing, it is all pot. Small, big and all that, the size doesn't count. The form counts. But you can't say this is pot. This is clay, all right. But this is not pot. Because your understanding of pot will not accommodate this. The form is entirely different. Therefore, it is not the meaning of pot. Pot means there is a meaning. Swamiji, don't be so certain these days. Pot has got some other meaning also. So I am aware of it. Okay? This is the original pot. Just the meaning. This is what I say it is astounding. That's all what is there. Now the potness belongs to what? Potness, when you hear the word pot, there is a form that is called potness. And wherever there is potness, you say pot. So that's what knowledge is. This potness belongs to what now? You can't say potness belongs to clay. Clay has got clayness. It doesn't have potness. And you cannot put it elsewhere because it is only an attribute. It doesn't exist by itself. There must be something that exists to which this is an attribute. So potness doesn't have one particular being, one particular substantive. Its own substantive it doesn't have. So it has to be an attribute of something else. Here it is clay. It can be an attribute of silver, it can be an attribute of brass, it can be an attribute of gold. Something else must be there. But then gold has got goldness. It doesn't have partness. And copper doesn't have partness, copperness. So copper can be a bangle. Copper can be a ring. Therefore, yatra copper, wherever there is copper, there is no partners. There is no partners. Therefore, what is all this now? Every morning I come for a class and you are confusing. I said, I got a googly. So yes. Where should I put these partners? It cannot be outside clay. What exists is clay in my hand. And there itself two things I see. One is clay, the other is pot. And potness cannot be an intrinsic attribute, nor an attribute outside that clay. And therefore it is some kind of an attribute, a mithya attribute. Mithya means neither you can dismiss it as false, much less as non-existent. One is gone. Asat is gone. Asat means false also asat, non-existent also asat. Asat is gone. It exists, you cannot say sat. Because what exists is here in the example I am talking. Don't say clay exists. In the example, clay exists. But if you take it literally, clay exists, sat exists, then later I will say, I am sat. I am going to say, I am sat, Atma is sat. When you say I am sat and sat is clay, what a revelation. Tattvamasi. It's not very happy thing. Therefore, let us in the example we are talking about. And the sat is, in the example, for the pot, the being given by sat. Pot is to say that is must be drawn, that existence must be drawn from the clay, and therefore pot comes into being. The beingness, existence of pot is existence of clay. Therefore, it cannot be an intrinsic attribute of clay. If it is so, you have to understand that also. If it is so, wherever there is clay, there will be pot. And wherever there is pot, there will be clay. That's not also true. So, potness alone is there for the word pot. And that can be anywhere. Some being, it has to attach to some being. It's a mithya attribute. Sat asadvyam anirvachaniyam, that which we cannot categorically dismiss as false or non-existent, asat, nor you can say Sat. Human mind is always moving like a pendulum and wants everything categorical. Then only it can understand. And therefore you people live only dubbing people, naming people, and then afterwards you can be safe. And otherwise you become vulnerable. That is the truth. Because we want categorical, we want to control situations which you cannot. Love is control, and therefore everything should be categorical. Therefore you won't bring under words, and nothing will fit into words, any one word. You've got a concept of what is good. Therefore he is a good person. And you will find that he is like a ready-made shirt. So either it is too loose or it is too tight. So the person is always outside goodness, your concept of goodness. And your concept also is not enough to contain his goodness. Therefore, each one's concept being just a categorical concept. Within this, the fellow moves. Otherwise, he is vulnerable. Therefore, we think that this is real. And another fellow says it's illusion. That becomes Buddhism. It's all subjectivism. So neither it's an illusion. Asat. Illusion is asat. This is not illusion. Sat asatbhyam anirvachanīya. This is in Vedanta, it has crept into this. This concept, illusion, has crept into Vedanta. Unfortunately. What is the example? Therefore, neither it is asat, illusion or delusion, or non-existent, nor it is sat. It is just a word and its meaning. Sticking on to something else. Mithya attribute to clay. Clayness also is mithya attribute to something else. Because clay is reduced to atoms. Clay is gone. Upanishad tells that. Clay goes. Its cause alone exists. Its cause atoms, the constituting cause. Atom goes, particle alone exists. Then once you come to the particle, it is, atom itself is a concept. Means you are object of a cognition. Particle again object of cognition. Then what is that object? If you see, if it is an object of cognition, not your sense perception, then what is that object? Particle also is a word and its meaning. And belongs to what? Finally, whatever belongs to what that cognition is, the truth of the cognition. The truth of any cognition is consciousness. Truth of any cognition whether it is particle cognition, note what I say, whether it is a particle cognition and the whole cognition is consciousness, like a whole wave is water, the whole cognition is consciousness. Atom and the cognition of atom and the whole cognition of atom is consciousness. The whole cognition of clay is consciousness. The whole cognition of pot is consciousness. And consciousness is Satyam. Consciousness is Chit. Consciousness is Sat, Satchit. Where is this pot? In space and time. So space and time cognition in terms of this pot, the whole thing is cognition. And the consciousness of that cognition is Sat, is Chit. Now you bring in the entire Jagat. Jagat is one word. And word has got many words. We have seen in one pot there are many words. Pot is clay, clay is atom, like this we have got many words. Namni, namani, namni, namani. In one word you have got many words. That's what we have. You say one body. Then there are billions of cells. There is a universe here. Billions of cells. One body. Therefore, one pack of cells. One pack. So marriage another pack of cells. So this is what it is. It's the truth. Don't look into all these things. One pack of cells. So this, it's all cells. And the cell, if you look into, and then it has got DNA and things like that, you look into that, and another. I get many words out of one single word, correct? One single word. Body, liver, kidneys, not kidneys. For eventual problems, kidney, 2 kidneys, one spare kidney is always there. Stepney kidney. And all this is all different, left brain, right brain. So you have varieties of words. You read anatomy. The medical students, first year they have to do anatomy. That is the worst year. They cannot, all these names, strange names. But one body, that is easy to say, but strange names. One kidney, and kidney has got many parts again. So name becomes names. And any one you take and then again names. Name names. Name names. It's all name names. All that you have to remember. First year they somehow remember and pass. Afterwards they are forgotten completely. No problem. That is why if they have to do surgery, they have to go to anatomy book. They keep it always. They don't take it for granted. That's true, See, the surgeon always goes through the anatomy book. Because he has to remember all these things, and then he does check-up, like a pilot always has got a checklist. Whether it is ready, everything is ready. He can't remember his memory. He can't rely on his memory. So he has to check every item. Checklist is there. The other fellow will read and he will check up. Yes. One yes, mind was not there. Baki sab yes, mind was there. One yes, mind was not there. then you know what happened. That is why they put a computer. They put a computer. And this computer piloted flight. And this booming voice came after that flight took off. The plane took off, there was this booming voice through the microphone, and it said, so now we are airborne, and now this flight will take 3 hours, and you all relax. This is an autopilot. There is no human pilot in this flight, and therefore there is no possibility of any human error. Human error, human error, human error, human error, human error. One organ, name, then there are too many names you have to know. Name means meaning. Meaning means where what is you have to know. The shape you have to know. And suddenly the fellow is surprised. Another Google inside. And there is, this fellow goes, say normal names are there. Name means meaning. And this fellow has got a special one gland. And it looks different. And some other gland. And this fellow begins to wonder, the surgeon, how that gland came here. So, these kind of problems are all there, understand? So, naturally, there is always some genetic freak. Things are there. You go with an idea there should be a bone there, and you don't find a bone. There are less ribs are there. Less bones are there in certain bodies. So they have to deal with that. What I say, namni namani. So many names in one body, there are so many organs, so many names. Even muscles have got names. And these names, who will remember? Then the tendons are there. And endless. The whole thing is endless. Namni nama. The thing is, name and its meaning, and again it reduces into further names and their meanings. Therefore, what is Jagat? What is Jagat? Like a pot and its meaning. Everything else is the word and its meaning. The Chandogya Upanishad, in the 6th chapter, the famous chapter where Tattvamasi sentence is there. You are that sentence. The student here is son of Uddalaka. Shvetaketu is the name. Shvetaketu was sent when he was 12 to a Gurukula. 12 years he studied. Very successful, brilliant. Comes back. Very proud fellow, and because he has done, and now he has to marry now. And because once you have studied, The next stage is marriage. Snātaśchet grihi bhavet. If you are a snātah, that means you have finished your studies in Gurukulam, come back and marry grihi bhavet. So that is the mandate. Now he is ready, naturally. And this 12 years in out of his house, his own home, and he comes home, very proud, moves around. Father asked him, because when you study, you are supposed to be humble. And this fellow is proud. And because he was first in everything, good, brilliant, but proud. Then he asked him, did you ask your teacher for that knowledge, gaining which everything is known? Everything else is known. One knowledge of one thing. Knowing which, of course, everything is known. Knowledge of one thing is only knowledge of one thing. The other things will not be known. But here, knowledge of one thing makes you know everything. That is not possible. And then Shvetaketu was stunned. And then he told his father, I don't think my teacher knew. If he had known, he would have taught me. Because I was the first. Again, pride continues. Father thought that question, if he cannot answer, I didn't ask. That means you didn't ask the right thing. Knowing which everything will be known, that you missed. And so many other things you know, there are many other things you don't know now. But one thing you know, everything is as well known. That one thing you didn't ask. That is one thing which is the basis, which is the existence of everything else. Everything else all the way. Lending existence to every cognition and the object of cognition. And that is, you have to know. If you don't know, the thing you don't know, and then everything else, there is no everything else, there is only one thing. That is the thing, the real thing. Coke. The real thing. The real thing you have to know. And everything else is not everything else, there is no thing. There is no thing, there is only word and its meaning. This is the thing. All are attributes of one thing. All are attributes all the way. One thing of one thing. And the attributes are word and meaning. Magic. This is what we call magic. Word and meaning. What you are wearing, a shirt, is a word and meaning. Fabric, word and meaning. There is no fabric. There is only yarn. Word and meaning. Yarn is word and meaning. There is no yarn. And there is only fibers. Word and meaning. There is no fiber. There are only molecules. Molecule, word and meaning. There are no molecules. There are only atoms. Word and meaning, atom. And there is no atom. Only particle. Word and meaning. Understand now? All meanings of what you wear is word and meaning of meaning and word and meaning. No thing. No thing. And then the real thing is non-shirt, non-fabric, and non-yarn, non-atom, non-molecule, non-atom, non-particle. And therefore you are wearing a shirt. The thing is, it is non-shirt. Non-shirt is the thing. It is the same thing. Non-space is the thing. Space. Non-time is the thing. Time. Non-star is the thing. Star. Non-sun is the thing. Sun, non-moon is the thing. That is the thing. The whole Jagat, non-Jagat is the thing. The Jagat is the word, meaning. So, bird has words. Knowing that one thing, everything is known. He asked, is there such a thing? He told him, yes. He gave an example, that's how pot came into the picture. The Upanishad pot it is. He doesn't even say pot. He said anything made of clay. He said, this, if you take a lump, your mṛdi pinda, you have understood clay. Then mṛnmayam entire Jagat, the world of mṛd, made of clay, a world of things made of clay. Millions of pots, millions of lids, millions of cups, millions of jars, millions of vases. The whole Jagat, earthenware, clay products. All of them. He says, Sarvam Mrinmayam. Is Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadeyam. Name only. Namadeyam is Swarte Dhe Pratyaya. The same meaning, emphasis. Nothing but name. Vakalambanam, centered on your speech. Namadeyam, a word. Word only is there, name only is there. Name, nāma, both are only the same, I suppose. Name, only name is there. Pot, jar, vase, cup and lid. But what is there is only mritika eva satyam. What is satyam is only mritika, clay. Knowing which everything is known. That is the only thing you have to know. A few other things, if you don't know, at least you know what it is all about, the thing. But there it is of no consequence in life. But that is only an example to point out Satyam. But here, if you happen to be that Satyam, then it is a matter of consequence. I am the Satya. That means the whole Jagataha must be. I am the whole. Because I am the thing. Therefore, I can't even say everything else. I can't say everything else. It is something like our Arab friends say, there is only one God. Don't worship other gods. So how can you say even the words, we don't have words. Words that we have, language we have is meant only for our experience to transact. So, this business with the world and with people, you have got communication, and the communication is only within the realm of things accepted as realities. The reality is clay pot. It's not potty clay. That's the reality. And we have language for that. And we have to use it and then negate it, and then this is how we communicate. It's all paradoxes. That's why we use paradox. Meaningful paradox. But people's minds are all categorical. Either it exists or it doesn't exist. It's not the thing. The thing is only one thing. Now I have to say, if there is only one thing, Vācāraṃ vikaro namadeyam mṛtikāyeva satyam. Every word has its meaning. That is the vikara. Pot, when you say there is a meaning. Lid, when you say there is a meaning. You don't, once I say lid, you don't imagine a pot there. Once I say cup, you don't imagine a lid there. A jar, a vase, something. You have a certain concept. And it has got a range of something like a range of mutation. And therefore still you will recognize. That's the range. You see a fellow after 10 years, 15 years, and he is very big. That's within the range. Still you recognize, yeah. Your eye full now. So, yeah, I have to see you like this. So this is... You recognize the fellow. So there is a scope. Always there is a scope for change. But still you are the same, recognized by others. That's amazing. Whether computer can do this or not. If you feed the computer of this fellow, this size, and it has to spot the fellow, how it will spot? He is of this size. Then something you have to tell. The nose and things like that. And this, all this. Earlobe. Earlobe. Every earlobe is unique. Every earlobe is unique. That's why the passport picture they will ask for a profile. A profile picture. And because the earlobe and the temple and all that, they've got some this thing is there. Because they know if you don't never give the size. The size is subject to inflation and deflation. And so it's like the stocks. So what I say, that you are able to recognize only form, meaning, word and meaning. Vācāraṃ vikaro namadeyam mṛtikāyeva satyam iti tad jnanam asti. That knowledge gaining which everything is as well known is that because there is one thing. And he tells, then Shetaketu wants to know, then he tells, Sadeva saumedam agrāsīt ekameva advitiyam. Before all this came, what was there was only one. This entire Jagat was that one. Understand that. Not that there was only one, afterwards Jagat came and joined. No, this is not a train. And you started the journey one and then afterwards somebody else came and somebody else came. This is called family, same compartment. And then suddenly somebody got down also. That's called separation. And so like this, no. The whole Jagat was there as Sat. Idam Jagat Asit. We have to understand these things very minutely. Idam Jagat Asit. Before The Jagat is manifest like this. It was there, unmanifest. Like a tree in a sea, unmanifest, pure software. Afterwards also, it's as though hardware, but really software, correct? So manifest software, undifferentiated, now differentiated software. This is called manifest and unmanifest. Therefore, that Sat Tamasi, that Sat like Mritika, the clay, so that Sat Tamasi, Tat Tamasi. Therefore, you are Satyam. And everything else is Nama Matram. Just word and its meaning. And the whole Jagat is nothing but knowledge, in other words. It was knowledge, even now it is knowledge. Like in dream, you create a world and world is nothing but knowledge. Word and meaning. In the dream you see a sun, it is word and meaning. Time, space, sun, word and meaning means your knowledge. Your knowledge is sun. In time and space. Your knowledge alone of tree is tree. Your knowledge of people are people. It's all your knowledge. And this knowledge can be like this manifest, unmanifest, sleep, before creation, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest, manifest. Sight. And that is what we say Ishvara. And Ishvara is manifest with reference to manifest, the same Sat. With this manifest Jagat is called Ishvara. Satya Sadbhyam Anirvachanīya. Neither Sat nor Asat. That is the beauty of it. That is the miracle. Therefore the verse begins like this. See, yathā mṛdi ghaṭo nāma. Just as in clay, mṛdi, in clay, ghaṭo nāma, there is a word and meaning. Ghataha, pot. What is there is clay, in clay. There cannot be a pot. In clay, clay alone can be there. But there is a pot. Name and form. Ghaṭo nāma. Ghata is a form and an appropriate name. Showing knowledge. Ghaṭo nāma. Kanake kuṇḍalābhidhā. Abhidhā also nāma. Different names, the synonyms. Abhidhā, name. Kuṇḍala, kuṇḍalādi. Kuṇḍalābhidhā. Kuṇḍala alone is there. Kuṇḍala, earring. So earring, this hanging thing. Earring. Jimki. And the word kuṇḍalābhidhā. But what is there is gold. Kanake. In the gold, there is a name and form called kuṇḍala. Made of gold, and it is gold, the weight of it is gold, but it is called kuṇḍala. and it exists in kanaka, in gold, not as a part of gold, superimposed, mithya attribute. Śuktau hi rajatakhyātirjīvaśabdastathā. And he said, then sometimes, not only this is vyāvaharika. Then the pradibhasikam, this is empirically true. The earring is empirically true. Pot is empirically true. Shukti, a shell, a mother of pearl, shell. A shell also is empirically true. Silver also is empirically true. But the locus for the silver is in the Shukti. This is not empirically true. Silver is in the Shukti. That is the real superimposition. That is a superimposed attribute. That is also mithya. But not mithya, there is false. The meaning of mithya is false. But it fulfills the definition of mithya. Sadbhireṣā manirvachaniyam. You can't say sat. You can't dismiss it as asat. Asat means non-existence here. You can't say sat. Sat is only Shukti. Therefore, it fulfills the definition. But pradibhasikam, subjective projection. Here subjective projection. That is also included here. Because jivatvam is subjective projection upon the Atma. I am karta, I am bhokta is all subjective projection. Karta bhokta is Atma, Atma is not karta bhokta. We are going to see all that. And therefore, so he has included this also. Śuktau in a shell, rajatakhyātirjīvaśabdastathā. The erroneous name of silver, name and form. Tatha jīvaśabdastathā pare. Tatha, so too, pare brahmani, pare atmani, atma that is limitless, in the limitless atma, jiva the word jiva. Word jiva. Both empirical and pradibhasika, both jiva. Even enlightened man is called jivan mukta. Jiva. Like in the clay, the word pot. So clay drishti doesn't go away. When you see the pot, you see the clay also. When you say I am a jiva, you see paratma also. You see means you have no more ignorance, I am paratma. Jiva from a standpoint. Jiva shabdaha tata pare atmani. This is the first verse. This is of course the 60th verse. So for this session it is the first verse. Real googling. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Shishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru
Hari